Dude, every Cybertruck video I see, it's genuinely a piece of like the interior design and like when I see them pulling the panels and the off the doors and the headliner, like there's a big piece of plastic that goes from across the headliner from left side to right side of the roof of the interior of the car. And it's like, is this sagging? And it's like, yeah, like so bad. You can clearly tear the whole car apart with your bare man hands. Like a man can tear that car apart with and I look, I get that you could fuck up most cars with your bare hands, but this one seems easy. That looks so cool to me. Look, I love that. That looks sick to me. But when I saw what that what do you call it? The glove box in the middle or whatever, the console. That console at the tip where it sort of goes space age and tilts down. It looks like the Defiant from fucking Star Trek. That plastic shit there is like so cheap and flimsy. And that dash to me looked like, honestly, it looks like a marble. It looks like a nice bathtub. And that's not what it looks like. That's not what it came out looking like.
So Whistling Dixie bought that Cybertruck and he meant to destroy it. And sure enough, if you mean to destroy a truck, you do.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that, Whistling Diesel. I'm sorry. Thank you, Zach. When he slammed the door, now excessively, people don't shut their truck doors that hard typically. But then when he opened it, it came apart in two. You know, like the whole interior part stayed behind and the door opened and it ripped it in two. So then he did another door. Same thing happened. 4 for 4. All 4 doors, when slammed too hard, rip in two upon opening. It's like, this just seems poorly put together. You don't want, like, I don't want to be a mindless Cybertruck hater, but I'm going to say, like, if you buy a year one Cybertruck, you're making a financial mistake.
It's a show car. I mean, the only ones I see in LA are not being driven by guys who need a truck. They're driven by guys who want everybody to point at them.
Yeah. It's not even a good car, though. It's not a good mode of transportation. And if you're talking about dollars for donuts, it's the worst truck on the market. It has to be. They're like $125,000 fucking dollars. And when you look at the competitors in that realm, dude, you can get an F-350 King Ranch for like $82,000 or some shit. Like, which would you rather have? An F-350 King Ranch or a Cybertruck? You can get the H3 Hummer, not that H3, the Electro Hummer, whatever the fuck it's called now. That thing's like 115,000, depending on how you get it dressed. It's sick. I'd much rather have that. The Ford Lightning, way better. Just a Toyota Tundra, I would rather have. I'd rather have the best Tundra than a Cybertruck any day. Any day.
How big is the bed on the Cybertruck? Like, you can't even put anything in it.
It's like not, you know,
I think it's like the normal size, like a normal F-150, or is it smaller than that?
It's like 5 or 6 feet or something.
It looks
but it's
smaller.
Also, the way
I can't tell if it is smaller because of that backward angle thing it does, like over the trunk. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like the way they look.
I love the way it looks. Dude, I like the way it looks. It looks like what we thought future cars were going to look like in the 80s movies I dig. It's 6-foot bed. 6x4. I love the way it looks. I saw one the other day and it was all wrapped up. The wrap started black on the bottom and like transitioned to red at the top of the car. Dude, it looked fucking cool. But I know it's a piece of shit.
I could see a wrap looking pretty cool on that thing for sure.
They do look good. You can do a halo wrap like the Warthog, and those look good.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Like the most fitting setting I've seen the Cybertruck in so far was with that minigun or whatever added to it, and Brandon did a video where he made it like wrapped like a Warthog, and it actually looks kind of neat.
All right, that's funny.
I don't like that anymore.
I like that.
Dude, would that get less or more attention than a normal Cybertruck?
Probably more.
That would get less hate is what that would do. So with this,
man, that Warthog rev is sick.
That looks neat because it's like, oh, it's just a cosplay car of a Warthog.
Hang on a minute. Like it looks too good to me. Like it looks too good. I mean, I don't think it's AI, but I think that like this is a good photographer. I don't know, man, that looks good. And this is another wrap. That's great.
Oh, that's terrible. Who would make it look dirty?
I like the dirty wraps. I've seen rust.
Yeah, I was going to say they rust. So I pictured to be mocking it. It could be Photoshop too.
Sure. Yeah, that's always possible.
Yeah. I love how it looks. I like the idea of it. I like that it's completely out of the box. And he was like, look, I'm going to make a thing. I'm the richest guy in the world and I own a car company. So here's a silly thing I can make. And people were like, yeah, please make it. And he's like, I will. Don't dare me. And he did it. And it just happens to be a piece of fucking shit on the build level. I don't expect it to be a truck. I don't want it to be a truck. I want it to be a hot rod future space mobile. And I don't want it to be a piece of shit though. I want that thing. When I heard it was going to be stainless steel, I was like, ooh, yeah, like the DeLorean. Like somebody's got to get out the buffer and some metal polish and make that bitch a mirror. Like that. That's what I would want to do at first, maybe.
Burn your house down. Parked in the front driveway. I like what the Rivian did, because you said you didn't need it to be a truck. Rivian is like, yeah, this is a truck, but it's like a recreational truck. Do you need something to take your kayak and your mountain bikes to the boat ranch? You know, like, and I'm like, that is me most of the time. I tow a tractor once a year or something, but for the most part, it's like a paramotor back there or a dirt bike. And the Cybertruck could do that.
I'm still hoping Honda brings back the Element.
Yeah,
did they get rid of that?
Yeah, back in like 2008. I'm still driving one, but I want a new one.
Why don't you get a Kia Soul? They look similar. Remember that the hamster?
Do they
commercial?
look similar? Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're both cubes.
I love this cube.
Or wait, what's it? No, it's called the Nissan Cube. That's what it is. That's those ugly cars.
I like the FJ Cruiser.
When that Element dies.
Do you remember the Toyota FJ Cruiser? When that thing came out, it was like the hot ticket item. They were selling those Toyotas for like $5,000 over the sticker price. Everybody was jealous they weren't selling Toyotas. All that summer, people would come to wherever you were and be like, well, the FJ Cruiser does this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, yeah, it does. Sure does. Well, good luck getting one. He's like, oh, we can get one. Well, go get it.
Yeah.
Sucker, what are you doing here? Looking at a fucking
just mocking the dealers at
you just hear shit on
Ford.
Looks like Mr. Consumer Alert came to shit on Ford Escapes for the afternoon and then bounced.
FJ Cruisers, I think they're neat, but I didn't buy one. And I bet a lot of people could say the same thing.
The PT Cruiser?
The FJ Cruiser.
FJ Cruiser. It's a Toyota thing.
Zach, will you show us an FJ Cruiser from 2005?
Yeah, and if you could queue up an interior also, because I thought it was a little out of the box. I liked it.
Yeah, it definitely was. Meanwhile, Ford had done something called the Ford Freestyle, which was like a throwback to station wagons mixed with a minivan. This thing is pretty cool though. This is like the Japanese Jeep Cherokee to me.
Yeah, that appealed to me as something a little bit different, something cool. I think you can take a hose to the interior, like by your feet, and wash it out if you want to.
That's the color everyone wanted.
Oh, that thing in the middle, it shows you like your tilt angle for off-roading, which is kind of...
Oh, look at that.
It's not important, but it's like, look, it's neat that someone's like, yeah, this is for hardcore shit. You need to know your yaw or your pitch.
That is the Ford Freestyle. dude, I sold one of those things and made so much money one time, and everybody was in awe that I had. This German, it was an English couple, like from England, London, England. They had moved to Atlanta, Georgia for his like work, and they were so like happy-go-lucky English in America for the first time, and I was like, this is classic American craftsmanship mixed with that, Ford bought Volvo, and they've got the whole S500 platform suite of vehicles that this one hails from. This is the Volvo XC90 platform with Ford laid over the top. You get the best of both worlds.
Was that true?
Yeah, it's all true. It's all true. I mean, best of both worlds is a wild claim to make, but it is sitting on the Volvo.
Like, why is our salesman laughing? And you're like, oh, I remember the internet video from yesterday.
They took Volvo's CVT transmission, I think, the continuously variable transmission. So you're not shifting through 5-10 gears. You're just like a golf cart transmission. And they threw it in those fucking cars.
Volvo XC90, that's what I bought Hope for her first car.
Very safe car. Probably safe car? Like top 3 safest cars in the world.
Dude, paid off. Like first 2 years, 2 accidents. One of them wasn't her fault, in fairness. I'm not saying any of them were, but one of them wasn't. So,
so a woman was also driving the other car in that first one?
Yeah.
If there's an accident, a woman was involved.
Volvo dealership was across the road, and it was hard to sell against them when people were buying cars for loved ones, because if they had been at Volvo first, they had just been told that Fords were cheap death machines. Yeah, go ahead and save. Oh yeah, pay $320 a month instead of $550. See if your mother makes it. Fuck.
So would you be like worried in the morning sometimes? Like, I got to make some sales. And then you'd be like, fuck, Volvo's having an end of January sales event. You're not going to get any attention.
No, we were like, we always had an event. We had an event every month with like balloons and clowns and like all sorts of
legit
nonsense.
Deals to be had at events, or is that just a show for?
It's a little column A, little column B. They're there to make a big splash and hit some big numbers, but at the same time, there will be lost leaders there. Like there would always be like an extremely cheap car advertised, or there'd be a bunch of them actually from every class of vehicle. It'd be like, this car's 3,000, this car's 1,000. We're giving this one away with a trade-in, and like there would be lots of shit like that. But you would get there, and we would have special ordered a Ford Ranger in a way that you would never want one before. It'd be like if I said I got free sandwiches, and you show up and it's like, ketchup, all the ketchup and tomato and sauerkraut you want, folks. Just line up right here. It's on garlic rosemary bread. Old crusty garlic rosemary bread. Yeah, we got it out of a dumpster.
It's impressively bad.
We've got some cold au jus, but it's really A1. Okay, come on. Who wants a free sandwich?
Oh, if it wasn't free, I'd be pissed.
Taylor's on his fourth.
That man is eating a whole 6-foot sub.
I feel sick. I need a car to drive myself home.
So you'd get there and there'd be a Ranger that like had roll-up windows and no air conditioning in 2005, and it had rubber floor mats and like, that you could hose out, and just nobody would want it. Oh, without a radio. We'd order that bitch without a radio.
How do you even do that?
You special order it from Ford without a fucking radio. The dash hasn't been punched out for it. It looks absurd. But so they get there to buy the $4,000 brand new Ford Ranger. They'd be like, fuck that! I need a radio. I was expecting a passenger seat. There's only 3 tires. There's only 3. That's the spare. That's the spare. And they'd be like, "Well, sir, if you want 4 full-size tires and a radio, we're gonna have to step up to the Ford XLT over here." And you take them over to a $22,000 Ford Ranger. So on that bitch, you know, they needed a truck.
The old bait and switch.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
exactly.
But there's deals to be had there. And I like the party and atmosphere. I like the we'd have like nachos and popcorn machines and shit like that to keep people in there, keep them entertained.
Yeah, it's all about the perks. A lot of the times you got to keep the kids happy, you know.
We had a
playground.
playground.
Been to a dealership and they got like a little like cartoon room for the kids to hang out in.
We had a full playground with slides, ball pit. It was better than a McDonald's play.
I think I saw one that had
and
like
the walls were glass,
theater.
so you could see your kids. Like you weren't like, where are my kids? Like the walls are glass in the playpen area. And so like you can see from as you're like signing your life away, you can see that little Tommy and Jenny are in there having a good time, not being touched by Mustafa, that weird Somali.
We can't get rid of him. He sells so many cars.
He sold so many cars. But he had that look in his eye, like, give your daughters to me. I will teach them.
I got a question, Kyle. Well, you should probably do ads, but I'm compelled to ask.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we agreed on a deal over the phone, right? Everything's settled in. You and I were done. It's locked. I want to go to the dealership and pick up the car. How fast can you make that? Right? Like, what can you get done before I get there? Like
if you show up first thing in the morning so that no one will be ahead of us in finance, you know, at the next step, I can have the car like washed with the tags on it, full tank of gas. Like that'll be done the day before. Like if you show and your paperwork will all be done, and there will be little stickers pointing to where you sign. And like the yellows are for signatures and the oranges are for initials. And I will hand you a booklet and a pen, and you can go through it in less than 3 minutes, and you'll be in finance in 4. Like as fast as you can imagine, I can make it happen.
That would have been great. Because this happened to me, but for Jackie's car, I hired a broker to negotiate for me, like just a concierge. That's what they call them, car buying concierge. And I was like, give me the best deal. You know, call the dealership, see what you can do. And we liked the deal. We had it all figured out. And I told him, like, have the dealership ready. Have them ready, right? So that I don't want to like be some sort of VIP asshole or something, but there's no reason buying a car needs to take an hour and a half. Like, just have them do all this stuff before I get there. I'll come in whenever you tell me to. Just be ready. And it still took an hour and a half. They claimed that things couldn't be done before I got there, stuff like that. It was really frustrating.
No, there's nothing like that I can even imagine. Like if we've done the deal, We could probably nowadays you just e-sign everything. I don't know why you can't just e-sign everything and just come in and take delivery. Like
that sounds good.
Especially if you're not seeking finance with us. Like if you're not financing through us, then you shouldn't even be sitting. I don't think.
Yeah. And it's like everything else in the world. Once we agree on a price, I can cut you a check and walk away. That's how it should go, but not cars or motorcycles.
You just it can be done. I've done it before, just like that. Like especially if someone had a it was actually that British couple that sold the freestyle where they had a credit union, so they came in with a check cut to an amount, and it's like this is it. Here you go.
Too.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no reason for them to jack
hour
you.
And a half later, I left with the car.
the people ahead of you and the line of things to do is the problem, and they'll lie to you and say it's not. But like there'll be an order that people are getting the cars detailed, and it's like you should have detailed this yesterday if it was sold.
But the car was, I think, finished. Like that part of it was done. It was detailed. I think they blamed the DMV, and I don't know what else.
Oh well. The DMV.
The credit check took a while. That was partly on me because my credit, people stole my identity so many times because I'm on YouTube that now my credit's so locked down you can't check it and stuff unless I call and like have a temporary lift.
Yeah, anyway. Why do they need to run your credit anyway? You're writing a check.
Exactly, right? Like a cashier's check. Like, what's the problem?
How much did you guys pay the detailers?
Oh, that they just had a salary. They had a actually no. I'm sure they got paid by car, but I didn't have any like knowledge of that. Like they were back there smoking weed. It was a bunch of just dudes back there who washed cars, and like I think they got paid per car, but I don't know.
That checks out. I worked at a dealership at an enterprise at a dealership at the Boise Auto Mall, and there was this one detailer who would just lie about the most absurd things. Like he was a car detailer for like some Mercedes dealership near us, or maybe for Chevy. No, it was either Mercedes or Lexus, something like that. And he would like just claim to be making six figures cleaning cars and would like come up with things like, yeah, I detailed Diddy's car. I detailed Maya Angelou's car.
A lot of cum stains.
Yeah.
A lot of cum stains in Diddy's car.
I was always wanting to be polite because he was a nice guy, but it's like
Harry Tubman.
You're cleaning cars. You're cleaning cars at the Boise Auto Mall. You did not clean Kobe Bryant's Lamborghini. Like why?
Again,
like, you're making it uncomfortable that like I can tell you're trying to say this as if it's true, and I want to be polite. Oh yeah. You're pulling down $200,000 washing Kobe's helicopter or whatever. Like
what are you doing here, big shot?
Yeah.
With
I detailed Ray Charles' car, and I didn't even do a good job.
Like, really? In this same bay I'm standing in right now with wet shoes that we just used a taser we found in a car to shock one of the car preps. In this bay, you're making $200,000. I doubt it. Man, that guy could have got hurt.
I was always tempted to steal out of the cars. When I don't mean like steal from people. Like the cars would get traded in, and like they'd leave stuff in them, And it's like, at what point do you become the vulture that starts going through them? Because like, been here 2 days.
I'll tell you, the car preps at rental car places immediately.
Well, that's not even. Oh, the stuff that's been left in the car, it's been turned back in. That's kind of fair. They figure you're flying to Miami, you're gone. You're no. I mean,
I'll keep it quick, but because I've said this before, but like literally, someone would return a car 15 seconds later after someone's pulled it down to the lot. They're like, I left my iPad Pro on there. Can you run and get it? And I'm like, oh no, I got to get in another car and zoot down there quickly before one of the guys. There was this one giant guy.
Shoot a red flare.
There was this giant guy with like a fucked up eye and like his face was off balance.
Right.
And he was just I don't know how many iPads this dude had. Because you'd go down there and you'd be like, hey, Jared, are there any iPads down here? And he'd be like, nope. And I'm like, well, yeah, you see that car you're in right now? I know there's an iPad in it. Please just give me like the manager would have to go down there.
He's holding the iPad. He's like, I'm watching Monsters Inc. Get out of here.
Yeah, the manager would have to be like, hey, guys, I heard there's an iPad down here. I can't be bothered with this. Just put it on this table. And as soon as it's on the table, we're just moving on with the day. Everything's all good. So it's when you find it, put it right here. But
did that happen?
Yeah, on occasion they would like not steal it, but and it all depended on what shift was happening. If I saw slanty face giant guy, I knew like I got to be on point with the iPad thing. But then there was like a girl who was really conscientious and nice, and she would always bring stuff back up.
Found a gun.
Yeah, we found guns before.
Got the gun back to him. I also really liked the couple, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta get your gun back to you, bro. Like you left your fucking gun." Like, oh no, revolver. They had been from New Orleans during Katrina. They were they had lost everything, but they'd gotten a fat insurance check, and so they were there to like spend some insurance money on their new car. And he left his fucking pistol there in whatever rat box they turned in.
I like revolvers, not for function. For function, I like a semi-auto, but like they ignite my imagination.
Yeah, a little 38 stub nose, you know it's going to work no matter fucking what, and you can tell it's loaded just by looking at it because you can see the brass like sticking out of the cylinders. I don't know. There's something about that. That's not true of a semi-auto, especially if it's one that you keep in a glove box and like dust gets on it and accumulates, and like the oil that was in it soaks up that dust and then goes dry and becomes this little bit of glue that keeps so the first bullet goes off and the thing jams. And if you're shooting the gun that you keep in your glove box, it probably means you're fighting for your life, or you're shooting at rats out the window. Let's hope it's the rats, because you don't want to just something about the revolver always working as a gun that you just keep somewhere is just very
that makes sense.
Attractive.
Yeah.
I want it to work.